You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the January 2nd, 2024 meeting of the Michigan City Common Council. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening. I'd like to wish everyone a happy new year. And I would like to call the January 2nd, 2024 council meeting to order. And if everyone would please silence all electronic devices, stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll take the roll call. Mr. Dabney,
Present.
Mr. Fitzpatrick, Mr. Nelson,
Present.
Mr. Coulter,
Present.
Mr. Don Prespolinski,
Present.
Miss Lee,
Present.
Miss Moldenauer,
Present.
Dr. Cora,
Present.
and Miss Tillman.
Present.
We have 9 present and 1 absent. The next item on the agenda is open nominations for president for the 2024 council.
I nominate Councilman.
Point of order,
Oh, I'm sorry.
just a correction. You said 9 present, 1 absent.
Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh. Don't ever let me start this meeting again.
Good catch.
Good catch. Thank you. Okay, now we will do nominations. Does anyone have a nomination?
I'm going to nominate Councilman Don Prespolinski for president.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations?
I nominate Tracy Tillman for vice president.
No, we're not doing that yet.
No, that's
All right. Are there any other nominations for president? Nominations are now closed. And we don't have to take a vote because Mr. Prespolinski is going to be president. Congratulations, and he will take over the meeting.
all right. Congratulations.
The next item of business is for the election of the, pardon? Oh, I'm sorry. Next order of business is for the nomination for election of vice president. Are there any nominations?
Go ahead, Naj.
I'd like to nominate Tracy Tillman.
Second.
Tracy Tillman has been nominated by Councilman Nelson and seconded by Councilman Cora. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. I don't believe we need a vote. So, Councilwoman Tracy Tillman, congratulations. And you can move down to where the vice president sits. You know, I don't like having that sitting up there. I always think it's gonna fall. I'll leave it right there for now. You got it, Tracy. Now, Madam Clerk, I know that we don't have it on the agenda, but do we nominate and elect a parliamentarian also this evening?
I believe the president usually does they
Yeah, I believe the president can
nominate.
nominate.
Can just nominate? Okay. Then I will nominate Councilwoman Nancy Mollenauer for parliamentarian.
And just for clarification, it's really not a nomination because it's not an elected office. It's an appointment.
Appoint.
It's an appointment. That's the.
Oh, okay,
It's an-
okay, all right. With that being said, I appoint Councilwoman Nancy Mullenhour as parliamentarian to keep track of the time and to keep track of all the rules and regulations of the city council. So congratulations, Ms. Mullenhour.
Thank you, Councilman.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Moving on, the agenda. Approval of the minutes from December the 5th. Yes. Not yet. I think that's next meeting, I believe.
December 19th, council minutes are not finished and they will be on the next meeting.
Move approval.
There's been a motion and a
Second,
second
This is for the December 5th.
for the December 5th
Yeah.
minutes. Yes. There's been a second, there's been a motion and a second. Ms. Nyla on the vote.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Preselinski,
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer,
aye.
Dr. Cora, Ms. Lee. Aye. And Ms. Tillman.
Aye.
We have 8 in favor and no one opposed.
Thank you, Ms. Nyla.
Mr. President, I have a point of a personal privilege. Since we're starting this new year, I was, if everybody is in agreement and if our attorney blesses it, maybe for simple votes like approval of minutes and things like that, probably we could take a voice vote rather than a roll call vote. It'll save some time.
We can do that with a voice vote. I know we got into the roll call during COVID, right? And that's a requirement when anyone participates virtually.
Correct.
That's the reason for that. There are some other suggestions too that I have in order to kind of speed things up, including a consent agenda as part of your regular agenda.
Okay.
So maybe we can have a workshop where we could talk about that.
Okay.
That suggestion as well as some others that'll help move things along, and maybe the new members have some suggestions as well. But I'd be more than happy to
Great.
give you some advice on how best to
Okay.
move things along.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Next on the agenda is reports of any standing committees, which I don't believe there's any reports this evening. Finance Committee report.
There was not a Michigan City Finance Committee meeting held on January 2nd, 2024, due to the change of appointments that will be issued by the president. But for Michigan City Riverboat and Boyd claims docket for January 2nd, 2024, Riverboat Fund number 2235 in the amount of $25,274.45. Riverboat EFT Fund number 2235, $0. Boyd Development EFT Fund number 2504, $0. The total claims $25,274.45. This amount is for Waymeyer APS Inc. doing business as Waymeyer, $15,653.57. And Woodruff's and Sons Inc., $9,620.88. Again, the total claims is for $25,274.45.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Okay, I just had a comment.
Councilman. Mike.
So if any of the new council folks have any questions on, what EFT means, what the bill actually was, what the bill is being paid for, then just listening to Councilwoman Tillman's explanation. Because the experienced council people have a general idea what all this jargon means, but for the new folks, if you have a question at any time during the council meeting, all you have to say, wait till an explanation is done and then say, Mr. President, I have a question. Okay, and it will be, we have the city controller here and the second assistant city controller here this evening. And we can bring them in front, you can ask them any questions you want so that you get the knowledge of what this is all about. Don't expect everybody the new folks, to understand everything, what's going on here within a matter of 15 minutes. Okay? Maybe in a couple meetings, we'll expect you to know everything, but no. Just joking, just joking. Okay. All right. With that being said, is there a motion to pay the claims?
So moved.
Support.
There's been a motion by Councilman Cora to pay the claim, seconded by Councilwoman Tillman. Ms. Nylam on the vote?
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Prespolinski,
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
and Mr. Dabney.
Aye.
We have 8 in favor, no one opposed.
Thank you, Ms. Nylam. Any reports from boards or commissions? Reports of special or select committees? Reports from the mayor or other city officers or department heads?
Well, good evening and congratulations, welcome. Congratulations to the new officers and Happy New Year.
And welcome to the new mayor,
Yeah.
Mayor Angie.
All right, well, I have a couple of things, and I'm not sure if it's on the agenda, but I do need the advice and consent on 3 appointments today for the Human Rights Commission that we have. If you can add that to the agenda or make a change to the agenda. I'm not sure if it's on there, but it's for Tyra Walker Robinson for the Human Rights Department Commission, and for Mary Ellen Quinn, and for Daryl Borton to replace Greg Coulter. So I need your advice and consent for those 3 this evening, if you would so oblige.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to add this business item to the agenda.
Do we need a motion to add it to the agenda? Support. Okay. We had a motion by Councilman Cora and a second by Councilman Dabney to add the advice and consent of the 3 appointees that Mayor Angie Nelson Deitch would like to have added to the agenda tonight. On the vote, Ms. Nylam?
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Don Prespolinski,
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Aye.
Mr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee. Aye. Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney.
Aye.
And Mr. Nelson.
Aye.
We have 8 in favor and no one opposed.
Thank you for that. And other than that, today we spent most of the day on technology, trying to get our laptops, and we don't have Wi-Fi and some different things in the office that I'm shocked by. But other than that, we are moving along. I plan to take our staff around to the different departments this week and to meet them, and then we'll be doing some tours of some other, going out to central maintenance, and hopefully have some reports. But most of all, I will put something together for all of you to give me your top 3 priorities. I would like to do a strategic planning session with all of you for us to create a plan for the 4 years and to find out what your agendas are. And then once we create that plan, we try to stick to that. And, instead of things just popping up all over the place, we'll go back to our plan and say, well, is this a part of the plan? And if not, if it's not an emergency, you all know when I say no or want to conversate, it's because this is what you said your priorities are. And so I think that's a good way for us to move forward, to make sure we understand everybody's priorities of what they would like to get done, and understand that, we just don't have a free fall pocket of gold. And we'll talk a little bit more about the budget and making sure we do some workshops for everybody to make sure that our controller and our deputy controller can maybe do a workshop to give you a better understanding sooner than later as far as how the budget works and what that looks like before we even get into budget season, because there are some efficiencies that I'm looking for, a few cuts that I'm looking to make. I do feel after reviewing the budget that we've overestimated a bit on our revenues, so I'm looking for additional revenues for the city. But we're going to be okay. So we're going to look at it as a positive that we can start over and that the department heads will understand their budgets better and we'll move forward and everything will be just fine. So I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Madam Clerk, are there any petitions before us this evening?
No, we voted. No, it was just the
No. But yeah, it should be added to the agenda at the end. That's what I'm looking at.
You can do it as new, that's fine.
Yeah, under new business. Okay. Any petitions before us, Madam
There are
Clerk?
no petitions this evening.
Communications? Yeah,
Okay. The clerk's office received this afternoon. It's for immediate release. Sean Fitzpatrick announces the resignation as councilman for the 4th Ward of Michigan City, Indiana. Sean Fitzpatrick, serving as councilman for the 4th Ward of Michigan City, Indiana, has officially announced his resignation effective immediately. Having served the community faithfully since December of 2018, Fitzpatrick has been dedicated advocate for the resident of the 4th Ward, working tirelessly to address their concerns and improve the overall well-being of the community. In a heartfelt statement, Fitzpatrick expressed his gratitude for opportunity to serve the citizens of Michigan City. He cited personal reasons for his decision to step down and emphasized the importance of family and personal well-being. I am grateful for the trust and support of the wonderful people of the 4th Ward. It has been an honor to serve you, but due to personal reasons, I have made the difficult decision to resign. I believe this is the best interest of both my family and the constituents I have had privilege of represent, said Fitzpatrick. LaPorte County Democrat Party will be responsible for selecting replacement for Fitzpatrick to ensure continued representation for the resident of the 4th Ward. And personally, he will be missed.
thank you, Madam Clerk. Any ordinances before us this evening?
There are no resolutions and there are no ordinances.
Okay, under new business, the council has one, and this is a FYI for your information. We're not voting on this evening. The council has one appointment to the Animal Control Board representing the Humane Society incumbent, Karen Edwards, whose term expires on February the 15th at 2024. So if any of the council members have anyone that they would like to have on that board, you can bring nominations to the next council meeting. We'll probably be taking nominations at that time. Yeah. So if you have anybody in mind, tell them to go. And Gail, do they have to go to the clerk's office to fill out the paperwork to be on the
Yes.
Humane Society?
No, actually, this needs to be a letter from. Sorry, actually, this is a letter that needs to come from the Humane Society board. Reappointing or appointing
Oh, okay.
to this.
Okay. Okay, so council members don't have to worry about bringing anybody's name to the board. That's up to the Humane Society. The second item, FYI, council has one appointment to the Michigan City Tree Board representing a neighborhood association, and incumbent Laura Henderson is there right now, and her term expires February 15th, 2024. Moving down, the third item, For your FYI, the council has 8 appointments to the Michigan City Social Status of African American Males Commission representing the following. And that's also expires on February the 15th, 2024. The Human Rights has Pastor Dennis Carroll to a 1-year term. NAACP, Linda Faye Conley has a 2-year term. Swanson Center has Mr. Willie Millsap, a 1-year term. Michigan City resident Michael Jones has a 1-year term. City resident is vacant right now, and that's a 2-year term. And the Michigan City Area Schools has a 2-year term. And I believe that that's vacant. There's no name there. And the Minority Health Commission has Pastor Robert Johnson to a 1-year term, and the Common Council appointment, which we haven't appointed anybody, is to a 2-year term. So in this case, I believe if we have anybody that wants to be on the human or the NAA or the African American Males Commission, then bring an appoint or a name to the council meeting for nomination, and then we'll vote on it as our representative. Okay. All right. Any unfinished business? I don't believe we have any unfinished business tonight. Pardon?
The board's on that advice.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So we have the vote on, I know it was Mary Ellen Quinn, Daryl Borton, and the last, or Tyra Walker Robinson. Yeah. Can we vote on all 3 of them at one time? Yeah. Is there a motion to vote?
Mr. President,
Yeah,
I
sure.
make a motion to appoint or advise and consent as Mayor Angie has suggested for Tyra Walker Robinson and Mary Ellen Quinn and Daryl Borton to the Human Rights Commission.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion to appoint the 3 nominees. There's been a second by Councilman Coulter. On the vote, Ms. Nyla?
Mr. Don Prespolinski,
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Aye.
Dr. Fora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee. Aye. Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney.
Aye.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
and Mr. Coulter.
Aye.
We have 8 in favor and no one opposed.
Thank you, Ms. Nyla. Any unfinished business? Done with that. Comments from the public. Comments from the public. And just to remind everybody, and as we start out a new year here with a brand new council, please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Yeah, I'm just saying, in order to expedite the meetings.
I understand.
Yeah, I know.
Ernie Callahan, 302 Gladys Street. For those new ones in here, I welcome you. I missed the last 2 meetings, unfortunately, but I normally attend. And I want to welcome all your new ones here and wish you a happy new year. And the old ones that got reelected, happy new year.
Thank you, Ernie. Any other comments from the public?
Good evening, Council. Paul Prisbalinski, 1716 Washington Street. It saddens me greatly to hear the resignation of Councilman Fitzpatrick. He is a very, very understanding person and had an outlook for other people's opinion, and also his asset that he had for me working with him on the budgets, on the labor negotiating committee, and the finance committee. He had a certain feeling and intuition on what point or matter we were talking about. And I think that he's going to be greatly missed on the council for just the fact of his understanding of other people's opinion. I think it's a great loss to the Common Council and the city of Michigan City. And I would also like to wish everyone a very happy new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prispolinski. Anyone else from the public wish to speak?
Scott Melantuner, Kenwood Place. Welcome all the new people. Welcome the returning people. With a new administration, new mayor, new council, we're looking forward to a productive year together, working in concert. A lot should be done. That said, I have a question about the Franklin Street two-way thing. Has that been approved? I actually need information. I don't know how this works. I don't know. I've asked a lot of questions before. Nothing really comes back. Has it been approved? Who requested it? Was it requested by the Main Street organization or people of First Ward? This plan, we lose about 20 parking spaces in a 6-block area. It forces people to back into parking spaces. People are terrible at backing in. There's very little traffic from the north coming south. This traffic pattern has been in place for, I think, 30 years or more. People are pretty used to going north up the street, and now they have a choice of parking on either side. With the two ways, you'd only have the chance that the space is on your side. If you saw a space available on the other side, you'd have to circle a block. And since it's a new administration, there might be new priorities. And I'm just wondering if we've looked at that, what the cost is. Again, has this been approved completely by the previous council? I don't know if it's in the new administration's something they desire. Is it something we can look at again? Because as you might imagine, those that have got a taste of me in the last few months, I consider it a boondoggle and unnecessary at best. But I'm open to hearing, I'd like to hear what the reasoning was for it and if it was requested by the people of the First Ward or the Main Street organization. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Any other comments from the public?
I'm Angie, Mayor Angie. And with the two-way, last year at Board of Works, there were some approvals, and since it didn't happen before Memorial Day, they kind of abandoned moving forward at that time. But since then, I think they've taken a look at the backing in parking, and so it's not a priority for me to move forward with that at this time. But there was input from business owners. There was a full plan that was put together. Instead of doing Franklin, they moved forward with some of the other streets to move to two-way and waited on Franklin. I think that the backing in could be a problem, but it's just not a priority right now. So we'll look at it in the future. We know we have some ADA requirements and some curbs that need to be dealt with, but until then, you'll know when I know. And that's all I got. And I would like to say too that I wish Sean well, Councilman Fitzpatrick. He has been like a brother on the council for me for the last 4 years, and I just wish him well. I wish him well. A job well done. And it's hard to be up here and to run for city council, but we also know that we all have our own personal priorities sometimes that we have to deal with. So I appreciate all that he did for the council. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Anyone else from the public wish to speak this evening? Anyone else from the public? Anyone else from the public wish to speak this evening? Any council comments? Councilman Cora?
Mr. President, thank you very much. I want to echo the sentiments of Mayor Angie and Mr. Paul Prispolinski about Councilman Sean Fitzpatrick. I've known Sean for many, many years, and I've enjoyed working with him. I was looking forward to working with him on the council, and it came as a surprise, this announcement this evening. But I wish him well. I know he has a lot of things going on in his life, and I wish him well. I'm also looking forward to working with all of you, ladies and gentlemen, on this council as we advance the agenda for our city and working with our new mayor, Angie. And there's so much to be done and so many opportunities to be realized. So I'm excited about our collective future. The last thing I wanted to mention was it has always been my priority when I serve on a commission or in public office to make sure that civility be a key priority in public meetings, and I'm hoping that as we enter this new year with this new council, and I remember Mayor Angie had also indicated at one of our workshops that it should be a priority, and I think if we can all put our heads together, work together amicably. We can agree to disagree agreeably, and then get the work done for the council and for the city. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilwoman Tillman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would just like to say as well, Councilman Fitzpatrick will be dearly missed sitting amongst us all. Being my first term, he was one of the persons that assisted in showing me the formalities in regards of being a first term. And it was amazing. As Dr. Kaur said, it's okay to agree to disagree. But at the end of the day, he is a person that you can still call and that's reliable, that will assist in any way that he can. Also, I would just like to say again, congratulations to Mayor Angie Nelson Deitch. And I look forward to working with the rest of my council members and for a prosperous 2024.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anyone else? Any other council members? I just have a couple comments, if I may. Number one, I want to congratulate Mayor Angie Deitch again. And I'm going to say this, that the swearing in ceremony that took place last Saturday at the Blue Chip Casino, to all the ceremonies that I've attended personally, and I've attended a number of them throughout my career, that this one here was so professional, so nice, so many people, and people were inspired, people were fired up, and that just goes to your leadership, Mayor, and I really appreciate what you did for the citizens, for the council, and for yourself. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, and the other group that I really want to thank, of course, the ROTC students, but the singers that you were able to get from Krieger Middle School, and the young lady that did the solo to America the Beautiful was just outstanding. I mean, you know, we like to showcase our young people and what they're about in Michigan City, and that there was just outstanding. And what a way to start 2024 with a performance like that from that young lady. Yeah. And if you would, Mayor, maybe I'll see you tomorrow, because I'm going to be down here at 9:30 for that YMCA meeting. Yeah, if I could get that, the director's name and the young lady that sang that, yeah, I'd like that. I'd appreciate that. Second thing, Sean Fitzpatrick, Councilman Sean Fitzpatrick. Fantastic councilman. very knowledgeable about the budget, came up with the idea that I really thought was great with the budget, where we worked it down to 20% on the riverboat, but we narrowed it down a couple percents every year to get it down to 20%, which I thought was very, very fiscally sound and probably one of the best moves I've seen with riverboat money since I've been on the council. Sean, if you're watching, if not, I wish you well, in your future endeavors, and thank you for all the work that you've done on the city council and for the neighbors in the 4th Ward. And to all my council colleagues, well, here we are, right? We've gone through primary elections. We've gone through general elections. We've gone through parties. We've gone through this, gone through that. Well, now here we are in the council chambers on the city council. And it's our responsibility to lead the city forward and to help the mayor. And if you have a disagreement, with an idea or something, that's why you represent the folks in your ward, and you have to make those decisions basing them on yourself and on what's best for the folks in the ward that represented you. And like I've told the majority of you folks, is that if you ever need any help on this council, understanding something, knowing something, feel free. You can call me. I know you all have my cell number by now, I believe. You can feel free to call me. And what I plan to do is get with the controller's office, clerk's office, our attorney, city attorney, and we're going to have a workshop. Okay, it'll be in the afternoon, 5 o'clock, something like that. So everybody's going to make it. And whatever questions that you may have, and I want to do it like within the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We're not waiting. You need to know this stuff. Whatever questions you may have as you're, eating supper or watching TV, whatever you're doing, write it down and say, hey, I want to know about this, or I want to know about somebody making a point of order, or I want to know about making an amendment. How does all that go? And we will get that information for you. Or how does the clerk's office run? Gail is going to be there to tell you what she expects. And then our attorney, he'll tell you how to get a hold of them. Okay. And what, you expect, or what he expects out of you. If you want to write an ordinance, I think you got to have information. You just can't call them up and say, hey, Jewel, I'd like you to write an ordinance about this. He'll say, well, what's the idea? Well, you got to be able to provide that information for them. So it's just those little things here and there. And our parliamentarian, you can start reading Robert's Rules of Orders and start memorizing that. No, I'm teasing you. I'm teasing you. But in Robert's Rules of Orders, everybody's going to have a copy of that. Okay, everybody will get a copy of it, and it's in there. It'll show you how the council meetings run, what the committees are, and just how things are run in general. So don't feel that you're up here all by yourself, because you're not. Because if we all have to succeed in order for the city to succeed, in order for the mayor to succeed, and that's the way this ball game goes. Now, I can't tell people how to act. We're all adults, and when we're in the council chambers, we're going to be professional. The public, when they come up to the podium, they're going to be professional. 3 minutes to talk, and we're going to keep things in that frame of mind. And then just one more thing is you all have the sheet in front of you on the committees. Okay, so being on the city council is just a little bit more than showing up for a meeting every 2 weeks. But there's committees here, and anything that may interest you, let me know by Friday. Send me a text, okay, email, send me a text or an email, and let me know what you may be interested in. And if you have a question about that certain committee, how does that committee operate? What do I need to know? Because I've been on, many of these committees. I have some knowledge on them. But, and now that we have a missing council person, we're going to have to add a few more committees onto folks until somebody is nominated, elected. So we're probably looking at, I don't know, a month possibly before that person would come on board. And but we're going to get these out before that happens. And then whoever does come on board as the Fourth Ward City Council person, then they'll put, we can readjust, put them in, committees and stuff like that. So anyway, whatever may get your interest right off the bat, get it to me. And I'll try to get this put together by the next council meeting. The times, there's some committees that meet during the day. There's some committees that meet in the evening. So if you're working during the day, you might be on a few more committees that meet during the evening than other people, because like myself, I'm retired, so I can make meetings during the day and pick that slack up where I know, other people have to work during the day. So, okay. With that being said, and then at the end of the meeting, the president will say, is there a motion to adjourn? So all one person has to say is motion to adjourn, and then that's it. We don't have to say second, and we don't have to take a vote on it. So that's the way that goes. Okay, all right. All right, with that being said, are there any more comments from the council?
Yeah.
Councilman Dabney?
Yeah, real quick, the caucus process has already started. I took a picture of the letter, sent it over to Angie Hinsman, the Democratic chair for LaPorte County. So I'm sure she read that in shock as I sent her that letter. And so that the caucus process is underway as we speak. So I wanted to get in and replace Sean. So we're going to be moving forward here. Like you said, Don, it'll probably take about a month or so before we can get the caucus up and running. So, but I know we're moving forward.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do you want to make a motion to adjourn?
No, I have a,
Okay.
yeah.
No, because I called. Do you want to say something, Councilwoman Lee? Go ahead.
I just want to clarify that our next meeting is not on the 16th, that it's on the 23rd, because we'll be at training in Indianapolis. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Are we all going to that training? I plan on going. Okay, so the next meeting will be January 23rd. Thank you, Councilwoman. Now, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.